Namaste. I'm Dr. Ananda Balayogi Bhavanani from Pondicherry, India, and I'm pleased to share this session with you. We are talking about the general theme of inclusiveness in yoga. And I cannot think of a better example than the work of my parents, my gurus, Swami Geethananda Giri and Ammaji Meenakshi Devi Bhavanani, who for the past 50 years have enabled children and youth from all sections of society to benefit from the teachings and practices of yoga, Indian classical dance, and Indian music. Through the Sri Kambali Swami Yoga and Fine Arts program in the late 60s and early 70s, thousands of young children benefited from these life-changing teachings of yoga and Indian culture. This has continued since 1993 in the form of Yoganjali Natyalayam with thousands of alumni and currently more than 325 young children participating every week in classes where they are exposed to the wonderful teachings of yoga, Indian dance, and Indian music. When we talk about young children, the teenagers, and the youth, we are talking of human beings where the ability to make a choice, an informed choice, doesn't seem to be working as best as it could. We are talking of young people where the emotions overcome the intellect. We find that this emotional volatility, emotional overactivity seems to prevent the intelligent decisions, the logical decisions from being made. And this is because the prefrontal cortex, this part of our brain that helps us have what we call in yoga viveka, doesn't seem to have been as developed at that stage of one's life. It is often jokingly said that, until you are 20 or 21, this is not fully functioning. Well, we often wonder whether it ever functions in so many people. It is so important that this part of us, where viveka, the ability to have discernment, to know the right from the wrong, what to do, what not to do, how to be, how not to be. Hamlet didn't really have this much developed. He was stuck in to be or not to be. Viveka enables the discerning intellect to come in. The discerning intellect that enables us to make the appropriate choice, to have the appropriate thought, word, and action in the present moment. This is why this prefrontal cortex, where the power of the buddhi, the higher intellect is, needs to be worked on in young children if we are to help them be the best them that they can be. Emotions are very much related to the limbic system. The limbic system is that part of the brain that we often term the mammalian brain or the mammalian complex. And this is a part where it's all about what you feel rather than what actually should be done at that moment. We of course have the spinal cord, that is the brainstem spinal cord area called the reptilian complex, which is very instinctive. We have the limbic system and the inner part of the brain, the mammalian, and then we have the prefrontal cortex and the rest of the cortex where we actually become human and we have the power of choice. When working with young children, it is vital that we give them an opportunity to release the emotions, to sublimate these emotions, and when they can release them and sublimate them, those emotions which could have a negative impact if left uncontrolled, start to actually give them the energy to go forward and do what they need to do, to be what they need to be, and to be what they can be. We use a lot of practices with the young children at Yoganjali Natyalayam. Some of these practices are related to the reptiles. So for example, you would have the kids do what is called the Bhujangini Mudra. It is the cobra gesture, where just like a cobra would, hiss, you have them hiss out the negativities that are there. Where, for example, we would have them breathe in, and then as they breathe out with the clenched teeth, this type of practice, and you would be coming up from the cobra. So, you breathe in and go down, and when you come up, it's like... What you are doing is that you are giving an opportunity for these negative emotions, repressed, suppressed emotions to come out, so that they are not hissing at anybody in school or at home. You give them an opportunity to work on this mammalian brain. We have them crawl around. When you have children crawl around, it's one of the best things you can do for them. When they crawl around, we have them make sounds as if you are a cat. Meow, meow, as if you are a dog. Lull, 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 lull. Or as if you are a tiger. See, when you do those emotion sounds, when you express those repressed, suppressed, mammalian, subhuman tendencies, you can deal with them consciously. If not, you're not going to deal with them consciously. And if you don't deal with them consciously, they are like a time bomb ticking away and will burst at the most inappropriate moment. You then help them work with the prefrontal cortex. You help them contemplate deeply, Ejyoti Dhyana, focusing on that inner light at the midpoint of the eyebrows, the bhrumadhya, and going inwards. Going in and experiencing the light. Focusing on the prana, the life force coming in and moving out as you breathe in and breathe out, a prana dharana. Just focusing on the breath as you breathe in and focusing as you breathe out. This type of focused breath work is one of the best ways to bring in the prefrontal cortex. And the cortical higher centers of your brain, they start to overcome and overrun the lower brainstem signals that are saying breathe in, breathe out unconsciously. You are starting to consciously make a choice how you want to breathe in and breathe out and strengthening the prefrontal cortex, thus reducing the emotionality. Another excellent practice is the Om chanting or the Brahmari, the humming like the bumblebee. When you chant what you are doing is you are attenuating the limbic activity. A beautiful study by Kalyani and the team at NIMHANS in Bangalore have shown how the limbic system is attenuated when you chant Om. You could do it even by humming, because the moment you hum, you are bringing about a tranquilizing effect. Tranquilizing and reducing the emotional volatility. When you do the Brahmari and you bring the Shanmukhi Mudra, closing off the senses in a type of Pratyahara and then making this bee sound. What you are doing is at that point, you are helping the whole emotional volatility, the unbalanced emotions, the uncontrollable emotions to all come into a state of balance. And then, of course, the best thing you can always do is work where you work on the right and the left. Because when you work on the right, you're working with your left brain. And when you work with the left, you're working on the right brain. And so this constant balance that is there in the Hatha Yoga practices, right and then left, you are producing a balance between the left and right brains. And this creates a very beautiful sense of harmonious balance. Because most activities in the children's lives are imbalanced. They are only doing one side, only one type of activity. But in the Hatha Yoga practices, all the asanas, the kriyas, the mudras, we are doing right and left, creating a beautiful balance. This is vital. And if you can do it with the nostrils, right nostril and left nostril influencing left brain, left nostril influencing right brain, again you are creating a beautiful sense of harmonious balance. Strengthening the corpus callosum, that gigantic bundle of fibers that is helping the right brain know what's happening in the left and the left brain know what's happening in the right. making sure that you are a holistic, balanced personality. So, working out the subhuman animal tendencies, reptilian and mammalian, strengthening the human tendencies, the qualities of humaneness are vital when we work with young children. And this is why we have to make sure that when we take yoga to young children, it is presented in a fun manner. We have to be childlike. We have to go down to their level and be a child once again, not be the adult, not be the teacher. We have to become one with them. And when we become one with them, at that point, they will start to love yoga. And the more they love yoga, the more yoga will come into their life, the more they will live yoga and then also share it. I think one of the greatest things we can do as a yoga teacher is share yoga with young children. The young children, the youth, are the future of our planet. And if yoga comes into their lives, we are going to make this planet a much better place. It is so important to bring in the concepts of yoga. Yama and Niyama are beautiful concepts which the children will enjoy if it is taken to them in a way that they can understand, giving their day-to-day life experiences of Yama Niyama, strengthening the humaneness through the Niyama, becoming the best human that we can be, fulfilling our purpose in this life of being the best human we can be. And then the work, conscious body work with the asanas, breath work with the pranayama. I think this is something that is the greatest gift we can give our children. I have enjoyed teaching children for the last 25 years. I think the best moments I have are when I'm with the children, becoming childlike, becoming one with them. And I tell you, there can be no greater gift than the smile, the love of such children whose lives have been transformed through yoga. Let us all spread the beauty of yoga amongst the young children of the world. Let's make yoga inclusive. Children from all strata of society, irrespective of nationality, class, creed, color, religion, or any political boundaries. Let all our children receive yoga with love. And may we, through that, fulfill our purpose, our dharma in life, and enable them to create the best possible future that we as a human race can experience. My prayer at this moment is that we all live our purpose and make yoga inclusive to each and every child on this planet. May we be the message, may we be the example, and may we be the change that we want to see in this world. Namaste.